The plays of Irish writer and poet Samuel Beckett offer a great opportunity to scrutinize the postmodernist movement, which gained enormous traction in the mid-20th century. Up to that point, modernism had established itself as the dominant style for novels, plays, and short stories, but fresh authorial philosophizing would see it give way to postmodernism. After Marcel Proust, modernism's benchmarks of subjectivity, narrative experimentation, and themes not religious and rural but secular and urban had slowly been normalized. Modernism had also virtually abandoned traditional universals. Even that core belief that we all have an ego or self, which endures across time, had been philosophically challenged. These intellectual shifts in the early 20th century required writers to create new literary forms in order to record a whole new human experience, one independent of past trends. But in postmodernism, literary themes, subjects, and yes, even assumptions about reality moved yet another step beyond the worldview that modernism had incrementally forged. Most postmodernists seem to agree with the French existentialist philosophers who argued that we live in an absurd world where, in fact, no gods watch over or care about us. We are essentially, postmodernism declared, alone in the cosmos. And therefore, since real life actually offers no meanings or definitions of ourselves that can function as guides for living, in the face of such a vacuum, it's up to each one of us to create our own. This mindset empowers not only Beckett's plays, but the works of postmodernist writers like Albert Camus, Jean-Paul Sartre, John Barth, Kurt Vonnegut, and later, Salman Rushdie. The committee that awarded Beckett the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1969 lauded him for recognizing the central dilemma of the century in his novels, poems, and, especially, his plays, which was, they explained, that contradiction between the human effort to discover meaning and the awareness that there is no meaning that we have not created ourselves. That certainly defines Beckett's plays as his characters try to create or find meaning, wait anxiously for explanations that never arrive, and try to stay busy to keep terror at a distance. In 1949, Samuel said the condition of art was that there was nothing to express, no desire to express anything, no way to express whatever was, yet an obligation to express something. While exploring that enigmatic and challenging thinking in novels and, more importantly, on stages, Beckett, in the eyes of many critics, virtually reinvented 20th century drama one more time. 3 Beckett plays, Waiting for Godot, Endgame, and Happy Days, exemplify his use of both a minimalist stage picture and clever pointed dialogue to explore the nature of absurdity. In Waiting for Godot, 2 tramps, Didi and Gogo, fill up their time with arguments, eating, reconciliations, even vaudeville routines, while waiting for someone who never shows up. Critics have long speculated that Godot may be a reference to God, who in any absurd, bleak, postmodernist reality is never going to turn up, despite promises or expectations. Endgame has 4 characters, waiting in an enclosed room. Outside there is only death. 3 are going blind, one's already deaf, another half crippled, and one has only stumps for limbs. Adding to this bleakness, the very metaphor Beckett used in his title is of course from chess, a game of steady attrition. By the end of play, most chessboards are almost bare. Endgame. Happy Days concerns a couple. Winnie is buried up to her waist in sand in Act 1 and up to her neck in Act 2. She fills up her time with rituals like combing her hair, brushing her teeth, and, perhaps to ward off the hopelessness of her situation, unleashing a steady stream of chatter at Willie, her inattentive husband in a world with no day or night, only signal bells. What all Beckett's characters do is repetitive, and they speak in ways which suggest that all of them are vaguely aware that they are in a play, which repeats itself night after night. Frequently, Without warning, Samuel Beckett characters even lapse into the language of theatre. In Endgame, Ham says he's making an aside, warming up for his final soliloquy. It seems that a point the playwright wants to make is that chess is only a game, so is a play. And in our absurd world, we use games and plays to pass the time, and thus avoid thinking. In Happy Days, Winnie breaks her mirror, then declares that she does this every time, but that when the bell rings, there's always a new one. Courtesy, of course, of the props department. Beckett's message appears to be that in the past, humans simply defined themselves in religious, scientific, or natural contexts, each ideology, in its heyday, offering its own reassuring rules of conduct. But his characters' experiences imply these were all but games or plays, offering rituals and forms that were once convincing, but no longer are. Therefore now, defining reality is no longer up to institutions, but a matter for each one of us. Thus his plays, and what they apparently insinuate, have been called ingenious, liberating, daring, insightful, but also iconoclastic, depressing, and pointless. No doubt Beckett himself would say, "Fine, just make your own choice." So what's your opinion of Beckett and his absurdist worldview? Have you seen Happy Days, or any of his other works? Can you shed any light on what his plays are trying to say? Please tell us in the comments, and don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to help keep world literature alive.
Though indeed postmodern, Samuel Beckett's view that we're alone in the cosmos, with no interested gods watching over us, was actually first trailblazed by an ancient Greek dramatist, whose work we survey in episode 5.